Hey folks, how you doing? Papa Joe here. Been another long week. I'm sitting at the yard here. Got my 10-hour break to do. I got a crazy run to do tomorrow to get home. Should be able to get her done. Sitting here and reading some comments. Couple of y'all need to get some tough skin. Saddle Tramp, I know you was trying to be a smart aleck, and Blue came in there protecting the channel and my name. I think it was cool that Blue tried to take up for me. He didn't realize that we knew each other and you was being a smart ass. Don't take stuff so personal. I'm serious. You know, it ain't a big deal. I read the comments, it ain't a big deal. And thank you, Carlos, for stepping in there. For you that don't know, Carlos is my right-hand man. Him and my son, Joe, they got my back. Blue, thank you for taking up for the channel, man. That was cool. But, as you've seen, it really wasn't needed. He just, you're right, he was bored where you said you're bored. Yeah, he's bored. But it's all good. So, there we go. Now, another comment I read. Well, I read it with glasses on. An individual asked me, he says, can you do a video on the shipping rates affecting companies? A few trucking companies declared bankruptcy and shut down, leaving drivers stranded. Then he told me keep up the good videos, or the great videos. Thank you for the compliment. And I'm doing my best. Let's tackle this one at a time. As for the rates, I don't know what the going rates are anymore. I'm a company driver. I don't know what the rates are. What I can tell you has been hurting the industry for longer than I've been in it is these big mega companies. J.B. Hunt was one of them that really started it. I was just talking to someone a while back. Back in JB's beginning as a large company, he didn't start large, but he grew quick. He had help. He had made the comment that if he made a penny a mile off of every truck, he'd be a rich man. He's a rich man. Well, he's a dead man now, but look how big he got. Now, the reason I say that is because when they have that many trucks, all they want to make is a penny profit, literally. So they want the cost of their truck and their driver, and then the company actually paying whatever the cost of the truck includes the people in the office and blah blah blah. When you say the cost of a truck, you're not talking about just the diesel on the pavement. There's a lot more to it. But point is, with the amount of trucks he had, he didn't need to make that $1 a mile that so many others need to make. So he could afford to go in there and cut the other guys' throats. And that's what him and a lot of other mega companies have done and still do. You've heard me talking about it in the boat industry. When I started hauling boats, it was sweet, it was good money, and then we had some of the big companies start coming in there, and they started slicing the prices. That's what hurts the trucking industry. They will come in and cut your throat and haul it for cheaper, and leave you scratching your head and wondering who shot the dog. It's been happening for years, and it's still happening now. And as companies get where they can't afford what they're being offered to haul freight, yeah, something has to give. Now, you cannot blame all of it on these mega companies cutting your throat. There's different things that figure into a company going bankrupt and a company having trouble getting the rates that they want and getting the loads, the contracts they want. If you hire, I have to be careful here because I don't want to hurt people's feelings, believe it or not. But if you hire drivers that are not up to good standards, you're going to be getting a lot of tickets. You're going to be getting a lot of accidents. And in today's world, that does 2 or 3 things to you. One, it's going to drive that insurance through the ceiling. Insurance is a big killer in the trucking industry. Secondly, it's going to raise your numbers or lower them, whatever, for your safety scores and all this. Now, whether you realize it or not, when you go through a scale house, they run either your license plate number or your DOT number. That's why if you'll notice at the scale houses, they'll have you stop, and if you watch that man or woman up there, they're staring at that window sometime with binoculars, and you see them typing. They're typing in one of your numbers, and it's going to pop up on their screen and tell them what kind of score you got. And if you don't have the best of scores, you're liable to get DOT. That's just how it works. These companies, they can look at some of your numbers and they'll see what your performance has been. You have to send them what they call a packet, which is all your information as a company, to prove that you're legal to haul their freight. They have to have that to cover their own butt. And out of that information, they can get enough that they can find out what your safety score is. They can find out what your performance is and all this other stuff. And from that, they can either turn you down or they can lower what they want to pay you and then pocket the profit. It's a big vicious game out here. As for these companies closing down and leaving drivers stranded, that's happened 2 or 3 times here in the last few years. And I find it very hard to believe that a trucking company does not know beforehand that they're going bankrupt. I find it hard to believe they can't get all their trucks back home to get them drivers to their vehicles and give them a chance to get home. I think that is some chicken shit game on the side of the companies. I really do. I think they're trying to get their drivers to haul every load that they can so they can pocket every dollar that they can. And instead of getting the drivers home, they cut off the fuel cards once again to pocket every dollar that they can. I do not believe that the cost of the freight rates, is causing these companies to go under. Not by itself. There's a lot of other stuff that plays into this stuff. A lot of times if they're not keeping their equipment up, Larry stays on top of his equipment, and he stays on that garage to make sure they stay on top of his equipment, because the cost of repairing these trucks out on the road, it's highway robbery without a gun. One tire, one blowout with a service call can cost you $500 or $600, quick, fast, and in a hurry, and can go up. If you get one for $300 or $400, you did good. So if you don't have equipment that's up to par, just like you don't have drivers that's up to par, all of these little things, well, they're not little to me, they're pretty big. All of these things add up and cost you in the long run. I don't know why those companies left their drivers stranded, but they sure did do it, and it was wrong. And I guarantee you, whatever reason they did it for, the company profited out of it, or it saved them from putting out more money. That's all there is to it. So that's a Papa Joe version of it. Yeah, rate affects these companies. It will affect them. But it won't affect them to a point where they have to just shut down right now and everybody lock the truck up and run. They should have had better foresight than that. No. If you see that the ship is sinking, then you need to be heading towards your port. And they didn't do it. They kept sailing until their ship went under. They took a bunch of drivers with them. That's a crying shame. Because not only did those drivers get stranded, I guarantee you they didn't get their last paycheck either. No, I haven't heard that anymore, but I just about bet on it. And that is why I try to tell drivers to stay away from these lease deals. These lease deals are not good. It's another way for the company to profit and the driver to take it in the shorts. It's not a good scenario. All right, Han, I hope this helped you a little bit. That's about all I told you on it. Y'all remember, good Lord loves you, so do I. The trucking industry, it'll chew you up and spit you out and not even think nothing about it. Y'all have a blessed evening now. I'm fixing to go to bed.